Hello, hello, hello. This is AJT500 slash TalentedTrack98 slash Eloise Wonderwise slash Hilo, and this is the post Guild War Ramble for Light Guild War 2025. If you're not familiar with this series, I always do a pre-Guild War Ramble where I talk about stuff that I think is going to be used in the Guild War, and then a post-Guild War Ramble over what I actually did in the Guild War and my setups and like a tier list of all the stuff that I used. So that's pretty much what we're going to get into now. So what we always start with is just what the scores were. So it's my final rally. I got another Sunstone this time. Perfect. This is my total score. Our Tiki and crew got bodied. We got cooked. We got cooked, but it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, Tiki final ranking was this, just at 15,000. I pretty much just got to the point where I was just doing 7 bill just for fun because like that last round we knew we were gonna lose, but I was nowhere close to 90k and I was already at the four bill for the skin. So yeah, this is where I landed at. Okay-ish Guild War, I guess, for me. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the scores. So now let's get into the setups, and then we'll get into the tier list. So setups. I have a video here. Hey, forget about what you just saw there. Okay, so we're just gonna go through each one of these. I have them all in order here. So first is EX Plus. EX Plus was literally just Futsu Oro S1, and that's it. I'll turn this down a bit. Then Zap. He's done. Literally just doing that over and over and over again. I did need Sandolphin when I went like Kaguya, ex Kaguya, but it's kind of whatever. It didn't really matter for me personally. Well, technically, the thing about it is I didn't even really need Sandolphin, but it made it more consistent, so I just kept Sandolphin in. And then this was the grid that I had for it. My key, the entirety of Guild War for my Opus is Sagacity key, so that's it. Yeah. So that's that. Then I'm going to go back in here, and then we're going to do 90 real quick. So 90 I actually had two setups for. Both were kind of a little bit inconsistent. This one was more consistent than the other one, it felt like. It just kind of did a little bit more damage, and it had less lockout because Wilmus only attacks once. But I really, really needed a triple attack artifact thing on Ragazzo to make this like 100% consistent, but he was at like 96% TA or something like that, so I just kind of went with it and it worked for me. But this was literally just seeking spawn in. You had to reload again to get rid of, like if you were trying to go it fast, you reloaded a second time to get rid of that luchador like buff thing, and then you would just attack and that was it, and just do the counters. So pretty good. I like this 90 when it worked. I would say it worked. It probably worked 96% of the time, to be honest, which is pretty good. Oh, that was this. And then this is the other one that I used. I used was Sturm, Narmayan Fairy. This one was also kind of like inconsistent. I think this one just didn't have enough damage sometimes, like straight up. I think that was the only issue with it. This one is also kind of a little bit more annoying because as you see right here, it needed Teking Artemis as a friend summon, which felt like really, really whack to me. Because like I had people that had Artemis, but I didn't have like a lot of people that had Artemis. But yeah. But regardless, I mean, it worked. It worked for the most part, but I just ended up mostly using the Vergazzo Willness one. Plus, I got to actually use Willness for once in my life, so I was like, screw it, I'll just use the Willness one. But they both did work for the most part. And the Bubs comes in there. Okay. So next, well, I guess I showed the time for this. I already showed the setup for it though. Slightly different setup, but pretty similar overall. All right, next 100. 100 is when we got to use the flogging. Flogging returns for 100 and 150. So yeah, this was mashing. It was pretty nice mashing though. It was pretty nice mashing. It didn't feel like super crazy. Bro, this 100 was getting me on tilt though when I was at the gym because I felt like I should not have needed to press that adversity button, but it felt like when I didn't press that adversity button, it was not consistent. So I just pressed the adversity button. This was all. I think 100 was more annoying than 152, by the way, because this 100, like, if she got to 10%, if she got to 10% and didn't do Phantom Wave, like if you did too much damage, she would just straight up kill you. Sometimes she would just straight up kill your MC, which was not fun. But 150, she like always does the Phantom Wave after like I think it was like 30 or 20%. So it was like you always got that one move. So the only like RNG with it was just if your MC got like 3% dodge, then you kind of got cooked on that, but that was it. And then this was the setup for that. Finally bringing in the double Basaros, bringing back Luos. Artemis was pretty big this Guild War just in general. That's 100. And then we go to 150. 150 is flogging again. I think 150 is like the exact same setup too. It's just you need to add some extra buttons. Like you're adding an Artemis call here as well as the Bubs. I think you had to bring in Yatima for this. Well, you definitely had to bring in Yatima because you're calling two summons. But then you had to bring in like the Mugen S3. But I did get to take off the adversity, so that's good, I guess. It's also crazy to me that this setup was killing without the you didn't even need the Sumabito like the follow-up attack. It just killed anyway. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, on this one she like always does the Phantom Wave at this point, so you always get this. So unless your MC just dodges, like you're good, and then just counter. So that's 150. I think on 150 I actually have a cut because I think I forgot to go show the setup. but but yeah, that was pretty good too. Oh wait, no, maybe I do go. Maybe I do go back. Okay, so yeah, it's like the same stuff. It's like the same stuff. Just Yatima now. Instead of I think Mars got taken out. Oh yeah, I think that's another thing too. The difference between 150 and 100 was that like Mars I needed Mars for 100 so that I could do I needed Mars for 100 so that I could get the Sumabito follow-ups, but 150 I didn't need the Sumabito follow-ups. So then that's when what am I trying to say? That's when I could take her out for Yatima instead. Then this is 200, and this was just I didn't spend a ton of time on 200. I mostly just full autoed it, but me and Cheers had like pretty much the exact same idea. And we just did. I don't know what Cheers read for their grid, but our team was like literally the exact same, just seeking Basara, Vikala, Ildot, just let this joint go through. And Basara actually got used in taking 200. Uh, I'm not even gonna let this all play through. I'm not gonna sit through all this, but you'll just see it's full auto. And pretty much what happens is Basara just seeking. He dispels a lot of stuff when he auto attacks, and then he lets you just kind of go at her, and boom, 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 boom. Pretty much just that auto attack, and then this kills in like 6 turns at the end. And that's it for 200. I think it's 200 actually that has the cut. I think I forgot to show my setup on this. 321. Yeah, it was pretty quick. Pretty quick, I felt like. That's the setup for that. I think, did I actually take out, I don't remember, did I actually take out Futsu in this? Oh, I guess I did. I guess I did. I did take out Futsu for this. I started with Futsu, and then I guess I took it out. I think what happened was I think Futsu was actually like slowing me down more than it was helping me. So I just seeking swapped that joint for a Noah Dagger, bro. Oh, yeah, that was the setup for 200. And then 250. 250, 250. Oh my god, bro. 250. Dude, we gotta make a call out post. I'm making a call out post to Teeking on my twitter.com, bro. Teeking, bro. The 250 this time has been some of the most fraudulent setups I've ever seen in a Guild War ever. No, the most fraudulent setups. Dude, every single setup failed, bro. There was nothing that was consistent. I'm telling you, this was the only team. This was the only team that I cleared this joint more than 2 times on full auto without intervention. And even this had intervention with the ticking Vicala, the Funf S3 on Vicala at the start. Nothing else was surviving. I don't care about no thinking sacrificing Mahura. That joint won't working. Mahura either stayed alive or she died at like the worst times, and then you just end up dying anyway. Lucio was not helping coming in, bro. Boogeyman was not helping all the time either when I tried that class. Not working. All those setups that had Mana Diver full auto, that they were not quick summoning Lucifer, they were quick summoning Orologia, all those seeking bricked. That joint was not reliable. Not reliable at all. I will say this team, I may have been able to put in Ilnot instead of Ragazzo, but Ragazzo was doing his best, bro. He was doing the work. So I left that boy in. Because this joint was consistent. But holy, bro, you guys saw on the stream, dude. If you guys were at the stream, you know I was crashing out because every setup was bricking, dude. All those manual setups, bricking, all that joint was bricking too. Nothing was seeking consistent, bro. Bro, nothing was consistent, man. Nothing was consistent. Bro, bro, 250 was one of the most annoying. I'm glad I barely even needed to play 250 because holy moly, that joint was seeking awful, bro. It was terrible. It was terrible. I've seen so many bait setups in the last 2 days. It's ridiculous, man. It's crazy work. But regardless, this setup did work. I think this setup only bricked like 2 times after I actually got it running out of like, I don't know, maybe like 30 runs or something like that. It was quite a decent amount of runs, but it was good. It was good. This setup, good. It was good. I'm not gonna play all the way through this because it's seeking full auto 250, but I had to rant about 250. You guys knew it was coming. So anyway, this just goes through and you're just seeking full auto, bro. They just dispel a lot. They dispel a lot. Fum Fum heals you a lot. Lucifer heals you a lot. Fum Fum clears the buffs sometimes, or the debuffs sometimes. Blase, thinking, there you go. And that's that. And then this at the end, thinking this was usually between like 10 minutes to 12 minutes. I just did this run because I was already tired from last night, and I just seeking let this one go, so that one was 12 minutes. And then this was the thinking setup for it. And then this is the thinking grid for it. But it's like, bro, that dude, there was so much fraudulent stuff on 250. I've never seen so much fake news, bro. Fake news. But anyway, those are the setups. So now we're gonna get into the tier list. Alright, so this is the tier list. So we're just gonna go in order and we're just gonna talk about stuff. So starting off, SS Fum Fum. Fum Fum stays in SS because this is, and I always gotta do this disclaimer. This list is purely based off of me, and I will explain why everything is where it is. It may not, like, if something's higher for you, sure, pal, that's great. Anyway, this is based on me. So Fum Fum SS for me because, as you saw, she was her and Ragazzo were the de facto most consistent 2 characters in my 250s. Main thing about Fum Fum, she delays on Ogi and she dispels on Ogi, which is really kicking strong. And when people get low in red HP, she heals them, she keeps them alive. Bigger thing, this boss, for some godforsaken reason, I literally have video footage of this joint. I have a party of Boogeyman, Vicala, and Ilnot. 3 different Veils on the team, and somehow they still got debuffed, right? So you cannot trust Vale in this party, or you cannot trust Vale in this raid. You cannot trust Vale. But Foon Foon, she does still get a knock on her head though, because Foon Foon, she does not always clear the debuffs as soon as you get them. There were multiple times where she would take like one extra turn to actually clear debuffs, but she would always clear debuffs. Whereas if they get through a Veil party and you don't have Foon Foon, you're just cooked. You're just cooked because you're either charmed for like 7 turns or you're bleeding out from that water chalice thing for like 7 turns. So Foon Foon stays in S tier because she was mad consistent. Mad consistent in 250. That's really all she needed to do was be mad consistent in 250. Geisenberger, backline Betty, but he capped damage. He capped damage that needed to be capped in 250. He was mad good for that, unironically. That's really all Borger's here for. The whole flogging crew, Nihon, Mugen, and Florence, literally just seeking Sumabito, Ura mashing, destroyed 100 and 150. That was pretty much the only place I used all 3 of those characters, but I mean, they literally bodied both of those floors. So, and I tried a little bit of 200 too. I couldn't get mine to work, but they were bodying 200 as well. So, I mean, they're up here. They're up in essence. Sandolphin, another backline Betty, and he helped with EX Plus, just aura base. Vikala. Come on, bro. Alright, dude. Vikala. Vikala is only an SS, bro. She's only an SS because I swear to God, if I didn't have that character, I know for a fact a lot of my setups would have been worse. I know for a fact they would have been worse. But, bro, I ain't a light main, so I'm not going to do the Vikala rant. But, bro, dude... This character, I don't know what's going on with her. But this character takes so much damage. It's ridiculous. And she don't be dodging. Like other characters. It's insane to me. There were multiple runs where I have like MC, Foon Foon, Regazzo, all like 60k, 70k HP. Vikala's over here at like 30k HP, 15k HP. Why are you so low when this boss is a multi-hitting boss? Why are you just getting all the freaking aggro? I don't understand. Another thing that pisses me off about Vikala, dude, she is like averse to triple attacking. My Vikala literally has, and granted, this is a bigger light issue, and I'll rant about this a little bit later, but this character does not triple attack unless you just throw triple attack at her. I literally, in that grid, I was laughing about it on stream last night. Literally, my most consistent grid was just me putting John Spear in the grid so that people could actually triple attack. Because this chick literally has, my Vikala literally has 18% extra triple attack outside of the grid and is still hitting single attacks. How does that happen? That doesn't happen in any other element. It's because light is so stacked with other stuff that it's hard to fit in triple attack. Even with Basara, it's not enough triple attack, especially if you don't have a mashing Ultima with her. It's like nigh impossible, bro. She just doesn't have enough, and it's not really just her fault. It's the light grid that's at fault, but it's just that she has no buffs to really help her, so she just single attacks so many times, and it's so freaking annoying, bro. It's so annoying. But the main thing that pissed me off is just the fact that she dies so fast, and she doesn't dodge. I literally, some of the times when I tried the Mahira comps, literally 70% hit to defense relic on Mahira, and Vikala side by side are dying at the same time. How? Mahira literally has a 70% defense down artifact on, and she's dying at the same time as Vikala, who's on defense awakening. Are you kidding me? How does that work? I don't understand. I don't get it. I really just don't get it. But Vikala ranting aside, she was really strong with the skill damage. She helps support the team with the Veil. She helps support the team with taking dispels. She's got 2 dispels very consistently. Very good. She resets her skill cooldowns whenever she ogies, so she's really good in like full auto when you're oging. Like she's really strong. She's really strong, but she just has stuff that just irks me. And I'm telling you, if I was a light main, she would definitely get a rant. She would definitely get a rant. But again, I'm not a light main, so we'll move on from Makala. Anyway, Tien, backline Betty, but we all like drop rate. Vergazzo. Whoo, Vergazzo is my boy. You guys might remember from the last Helogs that I did a dirty 3% spark for Summer Hecate, but during that spark, I got Ragazzo, and God bless, I'm glad I got Ragazzo, because holy moly, I used him in 90, as you saw, and he was really good in 90. He was really good in 90, but he popped off in 250, dude. Constant dispels, thinking I could bring dispel on MC because this dude just constantly debuffs like Mist. It's like, bro, he does the thinking assassin damage, constant double strikes, so much skill damage. Like he's just a beast. Thinking unworldly Ogi, bro. Like, dude, this dude, he's an animal. He's an animal, and he's built for a fight like 250. He's built for something like that. He is so freaking strong. I would not be surprised if that character sticks around for Guild Wars in the future. Like anything that has buffs and resets their debuffs, he's good for. He's real good. Especially if we stay on this like skill damage path with light, he's really strong. Really good character. I was honestly impressed. I hadn't used him because like I said, I just sparked him. So this was the first time I really used him. Very strong character. I'm a big fan of Ragazzo. Big fan of Ragazzo. Bubs was using like 100, 150 just to debuff and be useful for MC. So also, you kind of needed him for the triple attack on Sumabito. So good for that. Yatima I used on 150 just to call Artemis and taking Artemis and Bubs. Good for that. Kaguya, again, we love drop rate. Orologia, really freaking good, dude. Really good. If, like, EX Plus should go without stating. EX Plus, Orologia, plus Futsu, goated combo. Goated combo. Absolutely goated combo. But the real good thing about Orologia, honestly, if you got it to work in 250, I'll touch on this real quick, but if you got it to work on 250, the fact that the skill damage that you do on S1, that joint, because the way the Orologia Mana Diver quick summon thing worked on 250 is you would get to 50%, she would get all the buffs, and you already had Mahira's debuff on the boss, and you would Orologia quick summon. Orologia's thing does not care about the damage reduction or the cap. It just does damage regardless. So all the chickens just come flying in at 50% and just drop all the buffs, like right after one right after another. Really freaking good. Orologia also, even though Orologia's button, like the S1, is slow, it's like 3 seconds or something. That thing can go a long way to making a lot of setups super consistent. When it came to like 100, 150, I know some people used Futsu Orologia for 90 as well. Like, making setups consistent is really strong. And that, like, 20, 30 mil damage at the start of the fight, just throwing that joint out, and then having your MC buff for that long, and especially if you call Orologia again later in the fight, that's a lot of damage, bro. That's a lot of damage for free. That can save turns, that can save setups, that can save 1%. That's really strong, dude. Orologia, really freaking good this Go War. Really good this Go War. Artemis, very strong. Very strong. You saw this chick as seeking friend summon. Was not expecting that, I'm not going to lie. Saw her as friend summon. Very strong. But the main thing is the quick summon. Not only does she have the echo, but more importantly, she has the triple attack. And the big thing about the triple attack is you got to deal with Sumabito's cut to like 45% TA just for existing, right? So this plus like Orologia Call plus like Bubs as the main summon, All that stuff can help you cut Nihon's S2 to not need triple attack on your MC or anyone else for that matter. So Artemis, really good for the Echo, really good for the TA, really good for the HP too, to be honest, if you need the HP. Just very good summon. Honestly, kind of eclipsed Mars a bit. Very good Tiki summon. Triple zero, just triple zero to be honest. The only reason I have triple zero here is purely because Triple Zero did in specific Sumaibito comps, you could use Triple Zero to just get 2 extra buffs so that your Sumaibito could do the follow up nuke, so they could hit the 18 buffs to actually do that. So yeah, that's all the Teking characters. That's all the Teking summons. All right, now weapons. PNS is PNS. Need I say more? Exalto is Exalto. Need I say more? Basara weapon. Pretty freaking good. I definitely saw the use. This is the first time that we've gotten to use. We're technically Basara weapon is the first time we got to use this type of weapon in a guild war. But Uel's weapon is actually the progenitor of this weapon type. So Uel weapon, Basara weapon, whatever. This is the first time that we've gotten to use this defense cut type weapon in a guild war. It was pretty freaking good. I will say it was kind of like you didn't really have a lot of space for 2 of them in anything that wasn't a burst grid, which I feel like was kind of already the consensus with these type of weapons, where like 1 was like what you really want, and then 2 is like a luxury. And I think 2 is mostly a luxury for burst setups. I don't think there's really enough space to fit it in a lot of like full auto comps. You either want like more HP, unironically more multi-attack from like John Spear. You want something else besides 2 Basara weapons for like full auto. But for burst, 2 is very, very, very strong. But I'd say it showed up, to be honest. It did what it needed to do. It's like the extremity thing. So again, like I said earlier when I was showing my setups, my key stayed on Sagacity the whole time because this weapon took care of the extremity part of it. It did help a little bit with the multi-attack, and then plus just the defense cut is good. So it really helped. It really paid off if you had Ura. I'm going to be real. That's like the biggest thing that Basara's weapon was used for, like the Ura setups. Next, Noah Dagger. Noah Dagger is still Tekken goated. As a grid piece for big crit plus HP. As a main hand, big crit plus HP. Plus it's got a decent Ogi on it as well. Plus you can play Mana Diver with it. Noah Dagger, just good. Rin or Renee, however you say this joint. Nihon's weapon, skill damage out the wazoo. This joint is good. You always want to keep at least one of these in the grid. To go off of that, I don't even know what Symmetria, I think is what the weapon's called. Cosmos's Katana. That thing, really, really good. Like, SS might be like a stretch for it, but unironically, that joint is really, really good. Like, I definitely recommend you to get at least like a special. Unironically, you could probably get like an attack, a special, and a defense one just to have around. But honestly, they are really freaking strong because the thing about it is they give you that garrison, but they also give you that skill damage. They give you that skill damage kind of like a Rin, but you're getting the garrison with it. So you can essentially take, instead of 2 Rins, you can take a Rin and a Symmetria. Pretty much almost cap out on your skill damage supplemental and all those skill damage stats. And also have the defense of the Symmetria, which is really good. Plus just the awakening too. Like you can have damage cap, CA damage cap, defense, attack, whatever you want on the awakening. It's a really strong weapon, unironically. Really, really good. So they're both up here. Okay, now the illustrious weapons. Now Futsu, I was ragging on Futsu until last night. Because Futsu, unironically, felt just like an EX plus buy. I'm not gonna lie. I did use it a little bit for 200, but as you saw earlier, I ended up swapping back to Noah Dagger for 200 anyway. But I did finally get to use it more in 250, so it got raised up a lot because it was that Mana Diver setup with Futsu was much more consistent than the Boogeyman stuff for me. And I was gonna say like maybe it still drops because maybe you could just use Noah Dagger, but Aku did bring up a really good point that the amount of skill damage that I was putting out with Futsu as opposed to Noah Dagger in 250 probably saved me turns, which saved me triggers that I could have taken or auto attacks that I could have taken, which could have just killed my team, which I just kind of avoided because I had that extra damage from Futsu. So, unironically, I think Futsu raises up. But I will say Futsu, it's like it's so hard, and this is the thing. This is the thing with like Futsu and just light in general, where it's like the grids are so packed. It's so packed, and it's like I know people complain about packed grids just in general, but I really feel it in light. I really feel it in light because you just want so much stuff. You want stuff like your Basara weapons. You want crit. You want skill damage. You want to use Futsu. You want to use your ultimate opus. Like there's so much stuff to fit in there that it's really hard to like put this weapon in when you already are bringing Noah Dagger because you need crit anyway to get to 100% crit. So it's like essentially you always end up with like a weird grid where essentially your grid always by default is always like Noah Dagger or some other big crit weapon, 2 EFS, Ultima, Opus, a Renee. Then you could, if you're taking like Futsu main, then you have like 3 weapons at the top, and that's like the only stuff that you really get to move around. To be honest, it's like it's really rough, and half of the time that joint's like PNS or like some defensive weapon for something like this. It's just like it's rough, dude. It's rough. Like there's just not enough space. There is not enough space. There's not enough space. It's just rough. Oh yeah, Basara katanas. That's the other thing. You always have like a Basara katana, at least one of them. So you really only have like 2 slots. So it's just like I don't know, man. I don't know. It's rough, dude. It's really rough. It's really rough. And like I said, it's just hard. And then sometimes, like with the 200, sometimes Futsu just straight up slows you down over just doing Noah Dagger because you're doing extra skill damage. But if you don't need that skill damage, you're just taking extra time to throw out that skill damage when you could have just been done with the boss with Noah Dagger. So it's just like, and the other thing too is Futsu is good like for its effects, but like honestly you can put a better grid piece, like if you don't need that skill damage, you can put a better grid piece in the grid and make your grid and your characters overall more stronger if you take Futsu out and put in a better grid piece instead of that, and then just main hand Noah Dagger. So it's like there's always like Futsu is like super situational. It's super situational when it's really good, but when it's really good, it's really freaking good. So it's like it's in SS, but it's like still kind of rough. It's still kind of rough. Now Ura is kind of the same way, but Ura is like, I don't know. Ura is more obvious, I guess, because the thing about Ura is like when you're playing Ura, you're almost always playing Ura with at least bare minimum Mugen and Neon. So the thing about it is, off rip, you don't even have to really care about. You don't even really have to care about like triple attack. So you kind of just don't care about that, just in general. The full auto mess doesn't even really matter for that because you're always like bursting with Ura. Right, so it's like that joint is much easier to handle. The grids make a little bit more sense just in general when you play with Ura. Plus, Ura gives you a lot of amp just by holding it in your main hand. It gives your party boost your damage. So it's like that helps as well. So with your damage and stuff like that. But Ura, the one thing I really hate about Ura though, I really hate the counters. I hate the counters so freaking much. The counters, they do so much damage. They do so much damage. But holy moly, dude. Either your MC dies, your MC dodges, and it's just like, well, my setup just bricked now. Now I got to take an extra turn or something like that because it's like your MC just decided to dodge on that turn, and there's nothing you can do about it because you just can't counter if you didn't get hit. It really sucks. I kind of almost wish Ura's thing just worked if they did, like, either you got hit or they did a special attack. Like, if they did a special attack, you should just be able to counter. That's what I kind of wish. I wish they would kind of rebalance it to do it like that. Because it's so annoying. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I really like Futsu for EX Plus. Because Dude, I remember last Light Guild War, man. Last Light Guild War, it was literally like, hey, half of your EX pluses are breaking because the boss either isn't hitting your MC or the one hit it threw at your MC dodge, and then you just don't counter and you're taking EX plus bricks. And it's like, bro, it's not breaking with Futsu. So it's like, I don't know. That's just the really annoying thing. I really wish it just activated if the boss special attack. If they do a trigger or whatever, you just counter regardless, whether you get hit or not. That's what I wish they would like add, just an extra line to Ura. But besides that, I mean, Ura's pretty much the same as always been. You just burst with like Sumabito. I guess Sumabito is new, so that's good. But it's like the same thing as like Luchador. So Ura, good for what it's used for. Okay, so now we might get to some controversial subjects. so now we might get to some controversial subjects. So first of all, Song I think is very good. And the only reason I'm putting Song in S plus instead of SS is just purely because she did not fit into my optimal team for 250. If she fit into my optimal team for 250 and she was consistent on that team, or the thing about it, let me not even say that. Song herself was consistent. She was doing what she was supposed to be doing. It's just every other team that I put her on wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing. That was the issue. The team was the issue, not her. But it's just, I would rather have taken a different team that didn't have a Song than one with her. That's just the issue. That's just all there is to it. But she was very good this Guild War. She did a lot of kicking damage. I remember, I think it was either Aku or Oni King was saying that she was literally the highest damage on their team. She was doing a lot of kicking damage. She was debuffing like crazy. She dodges and she kicking dispels, which was really good for 250. Just really strong character. Plus, when you Ogi, she gets the crit rate and stuff like that. Very strong character, unironically. Now, S plus Illnot. Now, the thing about Illnot is kind of in the same boat as Song. Kind of in the same boat as Song, where it's not really her fault, but it's just, like I said before, the Veil stuff won't work for me in 250, bro. The triple Veil team, it won't working out. It won't working out. And like I said earlier with Ragazzo, I think she may have been able to come in with Ragazzo, like instead of Ragazzo, but Ragazzo was just working so well that I didn't want to break it by bringing in Ilnot, so I just kept Ilnot out. But I think Illnot was good. I did use her for 200, but that was really all I used her for. I do know that a lot of people did use her for Futsu Mash and stuff like that in 250, but I'm gonna tell you, all that joint bricked for me, every single thing I tried, so no. So that is the only thing keeping her out of SS. Pretty much the same thing as Song, is just purely the stuff that I used with them was just not consistent. It was just not consistent at all. So they dropped down. Mars, dude, Mars is weird. Mars is really, really weird because I know everybody going into this Guild War was like, holy, Mars is busted as crap. Can't wait to use Mars. Mars, I'm going to tell you, was barely kicking use. But the thing about it is she was used, but she wasn't like crazy. She wasn't like crazy. I only used her call once, and that was in 200. And honestly, I don't even think I really needed her call for 200. I just needed a call that could do something, and she was something. So I used her for 200. But every other thing that I used her for, she was just there as a backline summon. And the worst thing about it is she was really only even used on, like, let's say 100, purely just to give buffs to Sumaibito so that Sumaibito could do the follow-up attack. Not because I actually needed her buffs. It was just so I could do the follow-up attack, and I needed that buff counter to be at a certain spot. So Mars is like, she was used, but she wasn't like crazy, I feel like. And I feel like she didn't show up nearly as much as I thought she would be when it came to being an actual call summon. That's what I was expecting more of. I knew she was good as like a backline summon for the crit buffs and stuff like that, but I expected more so that you would use her call a lot more, and you just didn't. Artemis took that spot like crazy. Artemis was just popping off. So that's the reason why Mars is down here, personally. Luofus is just Luofus. It's just a resonator weapon. It was just used in the Ura setups, so it was good for that. John Spear. Now, John Spear, unironically, I should put this joint at SS, but I'm gonna keep it down here because it was only using like 2 setups, and one of those setups was a 90 that I didn't use like for most of the time. But I did actually finish my John Spear, if you guys remember from, like, I think it was the last Helogs, but been around stream, you guys know that I used my, my, like, the step up, spark thing. I used it on a John Spear. And I actually finished that John Spear. I one-barred it going into the skill war. And I used it for specifically 250, like I talked about with Vocala earlier. The thing with John Spear is a multi-attack. Multi-attack, multi-attack, multi-attack. Like I said before, the big issue I feel with Light is that you don't have enough space for multi-attack. You don't have enough space for multi-attack. And John Spear comes in clutch with the multi-attack, with the progression, and now it just now got an awakening, so you just get extra damage on top of that. So John Spear unironically came in clutch. It helped a lot, and like I said, my most consistent 250 used John Spear purely because I just needed my characters to consistently multi-attack. That's all I needed. Just let me multi-attack. So, John Spear honestly should be SS, but I'm going to keep it in S plus because it was only used in one setup. Really, one setup. Cosmos Fist, good for like the Ura stuff, just good in general. Okay, Lucio. So, Lucio, this is going to get even more controversial. Lucio is kind of like Song and Ilnot, but less so. Because I'm going to tell you, Lucio just was not consistent. Lucio was not consistent. I know the main thing people were using Lucio for was, it was Mahira comes in, Mahira dies, Lucio comes in, he starts doing a ton of damage. When people drop, he just full heals them all back up, and then you kill the boss. Easy clap, right? No, not easy clap. Bro, literally half the time Mahira would die, Lucio would come in, he would immediately heal everybody because Mahira took so long to die that everybody else is dying, especially Vicala. They're already in red. Either they die instantly before he can even full heal the next turn, or he does full heal them the next turn. 2 turns later, they're back in red. He has no passive, and you're only 8 turns in the fight, and the fight is going to take like 21 turns. It's not working, bro. it's not working, bro. It's not working. It's not working. That joint was not consistent at all. It was not consistent at all. Did he do a lot of damage? Yes. Is his heal good? Yes. But it was not consistent. It was not consistent at all, bro. It was not consistent at all. So that joint, no. Speaking of which, his partner in crime, Mahira. Oh my god. Mahira, bro. Mahira. I know people are probably going to have Mahira at the top of SS, bro. But I'm telling you, first off rip. I know we were talking about Relic and Artifact Gate like. We were talking about that. But bro, I really was just expecting like triple attack gate, skill damage cap gate, normal attack cap gate, CA cap gate. Taking 70% hit to defense, hope that my character doesn't dodge on a dodge team, and they just hopefully die. They just hopefully die at a consistent time, bro. Come on, man. Come on, dude. That joint won't consistent. It wasn't consistent, bro. There were so many times, I literally had a time where my Mahira was in red HP, 5k HP, with a 1k shield, sitting there in red, and she dodged 5 turns in a row before she actually got hit. 5 turns in a row, she dodged every hit that came at her and just didn't die. I have never seen a little chicken that just don't want to die. She just don't want to die, bro. Like, it just was not consistent. It was not consistent at all. It just was not working. It was not working for me. It was just not working for me. Literally, one of my best Mahira full autos was when she stayed alive the entire run. I literally have it on Twitter. That picture literally had her with a 70% hit to defense artifact on. And she lived the whole run. Are you kidding me? It's like, dude, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like I said, that type of sacrifice strat just ain't for me, bro. If the sacrifice strat ain't the person dying on turn 1, guaranteed, I don't want it. I don't want it. No, I don't want it. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. So I'll put her here because her chickens were respectable. They were good, and when it worked, I'm sure it was great. But nah, not for me, bro. Not for me. Basara down here. Basara is an S purely because he's literally just for 200. And you probably could have used somebody else in 200, but he was pretty good in my 200. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just mostly he's in mostly S because I just don't play 200 a lot because pretty much once 200 unlocks 250, I'm at 250 for like the rest of the Guild War. So yeah. And then the Celestial Bow. I know the Celestial Bow was very, very, very popular with Boogeyman setups. But like I've said multiple times, Boogeyman won't consistent for me. I tried a multitude of Boogeyman setups, none of them were consistent. It was pretty good though. I will say I don't even think Boogeyman was necessarily the issue. I think what I really needed was I needed to find a really good character comp that went with Boogeyman. But I just never found it, I guess. I just never got it, and it just never worked out. But Boogeyman, unironically, was pretty good. It was pretty good. It had a lot of dispels. It was staying alive. It had the thinking unchallenged stuff, the veil. It was pretty good, but it just didn't work for me. it just didn't work for me. So next, thinking A is literally all like OTK and 90 stuff. Just all these characters. That's what they're all for. And then B, all these characters and these summons were stuff that I saw, but I just didn't use. I know Zal was being used for the veil. Makra is being used a bit in 250. What's her name? Teking, I don't know her name. I don't know. This draft chick, whatever her name is, I saw her in a couple setups. Didn't use her. Kukuro, I don't have her, so I didn't use her for anything. I also don't have her bag, so I can't put that on here anywhere. Quillen, I know some people were using it for like 200 mashing. Was not working for me. It was not killing, so didn't work for me. And then Alex, I know people were using for 150 mashing, or 250 mashing, but it didn't work for me either. So that stuff's all down there. So in conclusion, that's the like guild post Guild War Ramble. Yeah, this one was a doozy. It's funny because I swear like everybody was having fun. Everybody was having fun until 250 day. Everybody was having fun. Oh yeah, EX Plus 90, 95, 100, 150. Ooh, 200, 200. Yeah, that's not too bad. Unlock 250, just seeking all hell broke loose, bro. That joint was insane, man. That joint was crazy. So I don't know. That was my Guild War experience. I'm gonna leave this tier list always from Game With. Thank you, Game With, for always putting this joint up because I'm too lazy to make my own type of tier list. So thank you. I'll put it in the description if you want to make your own tier list. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the support as always. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.